Hello everyone, I am Dr. Sheena Abraham. Today we will be learning reading and writing from TXT, CSV and Excel file. In R, we can read data from files stored outside the R environment. We can also write data from files which will be stored and accessed by the operating system. R can read data and file into various file formats like TXT, CSV, Excel, SPSS, SAS, SQL, etc. The objective of today's session is setting working directory, how to set working directory, writing and reading from text file, writing and reading from CSV file, writing and reading from Excel, and few data exploration function. At the end of this session, you will be able to do all these tasks. Now, the first function to set the working directory is set WD. As we can see set WD. Before set WD, I just want to show you what is our current working directory. To set the current working directory, which working directory you are working with, that is get WD. When you execute this file, get working directory, you can see the working directory of R. So if my data files, the files which I want to access is stored in a specific file. So in my computer, my entire data file is stored in desktop. This is the path where my data files are stored. So to set this working directory, I will copy this path, Control C. You can select this and you can copy this here. The command for setting the working directory is set WD. In this case, you can see that all the slashes are shown backward slash. So backward slash has a different meaning in programming language. So if you want to set this as your working directory, there are two options. Either change this into forward slash, change all the slashes into forward slash. I'll be changing everything to forward slashes. Or there is one more option that add two backslashes. In, it can be possible to use either ways. Either you can use forward slash or you can do two backward slashes. Now I will execute this command. After that, if I want to see whether my working directory is set or not, again I will execute get wd command and I will get the working directory. Now you can see that my working directory is set. Okay, now we will learn how to read from text file. To read from text file, as I have already created a text file in my working directory, that is john.txt. It is already created. I can show you that this is a john.txt file where I have written few contents of in the text file. So now I will read this file for using R. The command to read the text file is read lines. And here you have to store read lines will read john.txt file and store in d1 variable and store in d1 variable. To execute this command, either you can click on run here, or there is a shortcut to that is press Control Enter. Run. In this we can see that it is executed. Now if I want to view this in my console, I will see D1. I will directly write D1. Whatever variable is stored in D1, it will be executed here. Before that, I will show you that in this environment, the variable is created and you can see D1 variable is created. Here, when I see what is stored in D1. Again, I will go to this line D1 and run. Either you can press this run or you can press Control Enter. So you can see whatever is written in my TXT file, entire thing is stored here. Okay, so in this way you can read data from the TXT file. Now, for example, if I want to write data in a TXT file, whatever you have to write. For example, here I have written, I am Sheena, my age is 31, I work with XYZ Institute. I am storing it in a variable S1. Now, when I am storing this in a variable S1, I will execute this command. Either you can go run or you can press Control Enter. I have executed this command. You can see in my console window that the command is executed. So once the command is executed, you can see the new variable is created here S1. Now, the whatever the content stored in S1, I want to store it in a text file. The name of the file I have given S1.text. Now again I execute this command for write function. Write function is used to store the content in S1.txt file. So here we can see our S1.txt file is created, in which the content which I have written there is stored, and this file is saved in your operating system in the path where you have specified. Now, after this, we will learn how to read from and write into CSV file. CSV is a comma separated value file where the data can be stored in a table format. When you create a notepad, and in the notepad, if you store the data using like this is my data file, CSV file, which I have created in a notepad. 101 comma Sheena comma 41 comma some value. All the values are separated by commas and the file name is emp.csv. To create a CSV file, you have to write everything in your notepad, and then file, save as. When you go to save as, here you have to change it to all file, and then you have to make it an emp.csv. Then it will be saving as a .csv file. If you want to save as a .csv file, the first thing, the important thing which you have to remember is save as type. It should be all files. Then only it will create a CSV file. So once my CSV file is created, I want to read that file. So when you want to read that CSV file, there is a command read.csv. Read.csv command has two options. First, you will specify in double quotes the file name, and after that you have to specify whether your file has a header or not. In this CSV file, we were not having any header. It was directly starting from the content. So I have specified header equals to false. When you are writing false, it is case sensitive. R is a case sensitive, and true and false is a boolean data type variable. So in that case, you have to write capital false. If you write small false, it will not considered as a false variable. So capital false is compulsory. Now I will execute this command. I will read this file and store it in a variable D2. So to store it and execute this command, I will click here, click on run. Once I will run, you can see one more variable is created, in which mentioned 5 observation and 4 variables. Now if I want to see what is written in CSV file, I will again run the D2. I'll write D2. Here you can see the entire content of the CSV file is visible. Now, there is, as I said, there is an option of header false. Here, since we were not having any header, it was given V1, V2, V3, V4. But if you are having variable by default having a header, you have to mention header equals to true. For example, I have a file record.csv in which I have given header employee ID, name, age and salary. In this case, I will mention header equals to true. So read.csv, record.csv, header equals to true. When I execute this, it will execute and store it into D2, and again D2 I have created, and when you see this, here you can see the header is visible. Header is visible. So in this way, using read.csv command, you can read the CSV files. Next is, if you want to write the CSV file, create your own CSV file from R. So now we can see that D2 is created, and if I want to store this file in another CSV, so I will create a CSV D2. I will use a command write.csv. Write.csv, in this the data variable which stores the values, I will take that variable and I'll create my own new file name empexample.csv. When I will execute this, it after executing this, you can see in my data frame file there is a new file created empexample.csv. Since CSV file is automatically generating a table format file, either you can view CSV file in Excel or you can view CSV file in uh, notepad. So if you want to view in notepad, right click, open with notepad, and when you open you can see the entire content of your file is stored here. So in this way you can write the CSV file and store it in your operating system. Now, third objective of our today's session was to read from Excel file. Now, to read from Excel file, there are two methods. First, you have to install packages. Packages are, as we all know that in packages, it stores predefined functions. So XLS, the command which is related to XLS file is stored in XLS package. So for that we have to install XLSX package and use that package, and after that only we can read XLS file. So the method one is to install XLSX package. So in this, to install XLS package there are two methods. Either you can write install dot packages bracket within double quote XLSX. This is a command which either you can execute. This is a one way to install, and or there is another way to install XLS file is you can go to here to packages, and when you go here to packages you can see install button. Click on this install button here, and when you click on install button it will show you the list of packages. Here you can write XLSX, and when you write this and then only click on install, so it will install the XLS package in your environment. But here, since I have already executed install.packages XLSX, you can see the package is installed. After installing, you have to use library XLSX to use that command. For that the function is library. Once you run that function, library XLS, you can now use the XLSX functions. After that, now I want to read my XLS file. So my XLS file is stored in the same address where I have set my working directory. The file name is marks.xls and the sheet index is 1. The command to read XLSX file is read.xlsx file. So I will execute this command. Once I will execute this command, you can see after executing this command, I want to view this file in my separately, since the file may have lot of data. So I will use view function, and within the bracket I will say view D2. And after running this, you can see the file is open here, and the file has roll number, name of the students, marks out of 75, and marks out of 50. These are the functions which are already there in the XLS file. So now in this way you can read the XLS file. Now, after this is the one way. The second way of reading XLS file is you can use Open XLSX package also. So for that you have to install Open XLSX package. So install dot packages. Within the double quote you will mention the command and execute this command run. Or the other method is you can use click here in the on the this window, fourth window, you can here click go to packages, and then you can click, and then here you can write open XLSX. So when you click here, after that you can click on install. In this way also you can install the XLS file. Since now here when I have seen that my file is installed, package is installed. After that, to use that package, the command is library XLSX. I will execute that file. And now to read from that file, the command is open XLSX colon colon. When you write this command, and then read .xls and mention your file name. To read from OpenXLS, you will not directly write read.xlsx. You have to mention OpenXLSX colon colon before that, and then you will read that file. To read execute, I will execute this command. Once I have executed this command, I can view this file using a view command D4. If the variable is created here, we can see 119 observation and 4 variables. Here we can use run this file. You can see it is shown in this place. This is my file. So in this way you can open XLS file. So now after saying now we have till now we have learned how to write read from text file, CSV file and Excel file. And after that I will show you few data exploration functions also. Since we have stored the function Excel file in D4 variable, using D4 variable I will execute. There is first data exploration function is strd4. strd4 will help you, will show you the structure of your XLS file. You can see that the structure is first variable roll number, second variable name of students, third variable marks out of 75, fourth is marks out of 50. This is the structure. To see the structure of XLS file, second command is head. In head, when I pass my D4 variable, it will display the top 6 rows of my Excel file. It will display top 6 rows of my Excel file. Head command is used to display top 6. If you want to change it to 10, you have to write comma here and 10. It will then display top 10 records of the XLS file. After that, there is a command called tail. Tail will display last 6 rows of my file. Similarly, if you want to increase the count, you can mention the count here, and it will display last 8 records of my XLS file. The fourth function is dim. Dim function is used to will tell you the number of rows and column the Excel file is having. Now if I'll run this function, control enter. When I say see here, we can see 119 and 4, 119 rows and 4 columns. If you want to see only number of rows in this Excel file, the command name is nrow, nrow d4. I will run. You can see 119 n column d4. It will show only columns. And if I want to see the maximum values, so when we see maximum values, the command is max d4, and when I put dollar sign, you can see all the variables here. So here we can see which value is having the maximum. So I will execute this command and it will display the maximum is 75. The maximum value scored by the student is 75 in this row column. And if I change this into sum will tell me the total marks of the of that column. So I will execute sum. Sum function will tell me the total mark 5275. Now if I want to see average marks, so for the average mark we have a function called mean. Mean function will help me to identify the average marks obtained by my 119 student in the subject. I will execute. You can see 44.32 is my average marks. So in this way we can execute group functions like I have shown you, maximum, sum, mean. Similarly, you have min also. Similarly, there is a function called range. If I want to see range, here I will say D4 dollar. Dollar will show me all the rows. I want to see the range of the marks students scored in that column. So it will show me the range. 0 is the minimum and 47 is the maximum marks. So similarly, you can see the range. And after that, if you want to see the summary of the file, the command is summary D4. When you execute, here you can see in summary, you can see summary of all the columns: minimum, first quartile, median, mean, third quartile, maximum. In case of character variable, it will show you the length and the class. Rest in this it will show you mean, median, first, minimum and maximum. Summary will display the entire summary of the data. If I want to see few variables, for example, if I want to see the record which is having or not all record based on my condition. For example, if I want to see the D4 dollar greater than 40, I want to only see the create a subset of the my Excel file where the marks is more than 40. I'll execute this command. It will create a subset. If I will store that subset in a variable D5. So I will write D5 equals to subset and I'll create once again. I will execute in D5. Now if I view D5, you can see in D5 the name, only those students are visible who has scored more than 40. In this way I can create a subset of my Excel file. So these were few data exploration file. I hope that you all have enjoyed the session and understood the all four concepts clearly. If you have any doubt, you can ask the doubt in a comment column. Thank you.